Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandy Nerlich. I'm with Tourism Western Australia, USA. And if someone would be kind enough, on the right-hand side of your screen is a panel. If you don't mind just giving me a little message to let me know that you can hear us out there. We had a message, someone said, are we muted? So I just want to make sure if we are, that someone could let us know. Otherwise, we will assume you can hear all the great things we have to say today. Great. I love the cooperation we're having today. Well done, everyone. Thank you. So you can all hear us this morning. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We have a lot to cover today in a short amount of time. And we're very excited to present today the North American market starting at 9 a.m. We will speak for about 20 minutes and save about 10 minutes at the end for questions. So, so far, many of you have already typed some comments on the question box to your right-hand side. So by saying that, we will take questions at the end of the webinar, so feel free to go ahead and type in your questions, and we'll try to make sure we have enough time. If for any reason we do go over time, we will answer your questions offline. Okay. Today is the first of a series of webinars that we're going to be happening for the month of August and September. And in front of you can see the specific markets that we'll be presenting over the next couple of weeks. If for any reason you did not receive an invitation to attend one of these webinars, please contact lisa.rodriguez@westernaustralia.com. Okay, we're going to go ahead and present the presentation for the U.S. I'm Sandy Nerlich. I'm the Regional Director for North America, and this is our team. This is Tricia Cole, is the Vice President of Wagstaff Worldwide PR. We've got 5 offices nationally throughout America. Myself as the Regional Director for Tourism WA, and then we've got Ann Alderette, our Account Supervisor for PR, with Betsy Carlson, the Account Coordinator. In Perth, we've got Kelsey Johnson as the Director of International Marketing, and then from there we have Loretta DeStefani, the Marketing Manager. Today what we're going to do, I've just got a highlighted screen here. We'll do a little overview of the U.S. market and tell you how we're doing. Some national campaigns that we have going on in the marketplace. We'll talk about some of the campaigns and partnerships that we have, and then some of the opportunities that you might want to know about, and give you an idea of some of the media we have planned. And hopefully we'll get to your questions. Okay, sorry this slide's a bit wordy, but it does highlight kind of the background about the U.S. market. The Tourism WA's focus in the past has been traditionally the west coast of the U.S., and we're talking specifically California, Washington, those states. We are really doing a bit of a turnabout where we're focusing on both coasts, primarily New York City, Chicago, Texas, those particular regions. The economy is easing. Consumer confidence, what we've decided in the States is things are going to be the way they're going to be, and we're going to get on with things. So it's good to see, and I think you'll see with the numbers ahead exactly how that folds out. Tourism Western Australia actually became official only about 3 years ago in the U.S. market, so hence my existence, so that's a good thing, at least for me. WA is now one of the leading states in terms of visitor room nights to Australia. We are 4th in visitation, the U.S., as a result of the trade confidence and the work that we've been doing in the market through education and partnerships and some of the media exposure. Most visitors to WA from the U.S. will tend to be 2nd or 3rd time visitors as well. Product engagement in the U.S. is still emerging and in development, meaning that we are still in the early stages of building our relationships and having hotels and tour attractions engaging with some of the buyers that are in market. Just so you know, while we are doing well and people are getting the attention of Western Australia, we are still having the awareness out there that we need to continue to build, both on a consumer and trade basis. So we'll just keep plugging away. The average spend of a holiday is about $4,000 per person for about a 7-night stay, and that can vary from buyer to buyer. We have some buyers where the average is about $10,000 per person to come to Western Australia from the U.S. We recently had Lisa Scafidi, the Lord Mayor of Perth, visit the U.S. market, and she really did a fantastic job in representing the state, which is great for us. The Tourism Australia CDP highlights that consumers are seeking safety and value, and that's definitely a standpoint from the American market. And very big on their list for Australia is nature, good food and wine, arts, and history. Give you an idea of how we're doing. This gives you a panel here of the last 5 years. And the reason we chose this is because officially Western Australia started going into market for the U.S. in 2011. So you can see, looking at the numbers there, we started in 2010 at just a little over 39,000 visitors, and now today ending with almost 51,000 visitors. We are 4th in market share, which is fantastic. We're just behind New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria. Looking at the visitor room nights, this is a great slide to show you the number of nights when U.S. visitors are coming through. WA leads 4th in visitor room nights behind the gateway states, which is fantastic considering our budgets are quite different. You know, we're over 1 million visitors, visitor room nights for Western Australia, and looking at Sydney, you know, with almost 4.5 million visits overnight. Looking at the purpose of visit, what they're doing, what they're coming here, and who's coming. The biggest segment for us is leisure, which is great to see because that's certainly where a lot of the work we're doing, and VFR. Many of you may not realize we've got a big VFR in the U.S., and now we're just starting to tap into that particular segment. Where are they going when they get here? Well, you can see from this slide, it's certainly been growing a bit since 2010, and most of the visitations are coming in via Perth. Now, this could be for many reasons. Awareness, we're just tapping into the market. Perth is certainly in the forefront, but you can see from regions like the Coral Coast, we've doubled our visitation to that region. So we're looking at about 4,400 people coming into that area. Northwest is actually big in the U.S. We really get a lot of attention for the Northwest as well. And certainly the Southwest is doing extremely well for our market. Visitor spend, looking at overall, we're talking about, you know, 1,222 for Australia overall, with 113 million for Western Australia coming from the U.S. Overall, the U.S. is 3rd in visitor spend to Australia, which equals about $3.5 billion, and that's all the states together from the U.S. The projections for 2020 from Tourism Australia are looking towards $5.5 billion, so it's quite a lucrative market for your consideration. To give you an idea of our target audience, this is a profile, and this is what we really aim for when we're working out there in the marketplace. Geographically speaking, West Coast USA, certainly the access to Australia really calls for that when we're looking at California, Washington, Arizona. We've also got most of west of the Rockies. For those of you who may not know your geography, it's basically from the middle of the state towards the left, which is where Los Angeles is. Other areas of focus for us are Dallas. Houston is the sister city to Perth, so it makes a lot of sense. We get a lot of corporate business out of Houston. Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., and out of Canada, Vancouver and Toronto. We didn't show it in the slide earlier, but we're getting about 17,500 visitors from Canada, so definitely a worthwhile market for Western Australia. The priority segments that we focus on are definitely luxury from our market, food and wine, nature and adventure, dive, surf, swim, beach, cruise, big ship cruising, and also the Kimberley cruising gets a lot of attention, and definitely events. The segment that we focus on is really from 45 plus, the affluent bloomer, adventure seeker, and young professional. These guys tend to have more time and money. I know most of you may already be aware in the States 2 weeks is the average vacation time, but with this particular segment, you know, they're getting 3, 4, 6 weeks, a lot more time to be able to spend in WA. Some of the key events that touch off well in the U.S. market are the Perth International Golf, Margaret River Gourmet Escape, Ord Valley Muster, Margaret River Surf Pro, the Wildflower Season, and Whale Shark Season. Some of the major airline partners coming out of the U.S. for Australia are Qantas, Virgin Australia, Delta, American Airlines. And Air New Zealand currently has had a shift in the attention for Australia, and they are doing incredible things with Destination of Australia, and they are just about to launch or have already launched a new campaign with Tourism Australia. So definitely a good partner going forward. And then certainly we have United Airlines, the Middle East and Asian carriers for Western Australia, as many of you know, are great potential for us. Just a few accolades that we got in the last few months of the year. At the New York Times, Perth was ranked as one of the best places to visit in 2014 out of the 52 places to go. It placed number 9, which is fantastic news for Perth, and we are getting a lot of great media out of the East Coast. The Kimberley voted number 2 by the Lonely Planet. Great kudos for us. These are really great things for us to ride on and talk about in the marketplace, and really giving some attention to our destination. TripAdvisor, just about every American traveling to anywhere in the world are really looking at TripAdvisor, so these really make great sense to be able to have that presented in the marketplace. And certainly Margaret River, fantastic destination on the top choice of 10 destinations on the rise. Perth rated number 5 in the top 25 South Pacific destinations. So good news for us. Just to give you highlight a couple of the national campaigns that are taking place in the U.S. market. This is a fantastic one offered between Tourism Australia, Virgin Australia, and Delta. It's the Someday campaign. And the concept with the Someday campaign is people are always saying they want to go to Australia. And we're trying to say, instead of doing it someday, why not today? And what's happened here is these particular partners have come together to offer 52 weeks, 52 trips every week of the year to Australia. Did extremely well in the contest phase 1. Basically, consumers could go on and select the trip that they wanted. There were videos on 52 different trips. And as you can see, the goal for that was 267,000, and they ended up with almost 500,000 total entries. Fantastic that people are spending almost 13 minutes on the average time on the site. So that means that they're really searching and intrigued by the content. Western Australia has 5 itineraries on offer there. So here's the idea, bring Someday to life now. You can see the launch was the invitation to come and join in the contest. The second phase was the contest entries. And then finally, what we're doing now, we're in the phase of these consumers traveling and visiting the destinations. And there is a targeted retail effort with the travel agents and the wholesalers to include that Someday concept in all of their activities. So they're given a lot of collateral and a lot of great content to use and play along in a way that they can convert some sales for themselves. The other national consumer campaign that we have launched in the U.S. is Restaurant Australia. And basically the concept is we've got great food and wine offerings here. A lot of the world out there are not aware of it. They might know about some of our great wines, but it's just another way for us to engage the marketplace. There's lots of broadcast media would include digital and print, great trade engagements. There's been a lot of collateral created for Aussie specialists to get in there and promote Restaurant Australia as part of their messaging. We've done some training with all the wholesale offices as well, just to make sure that they have the product. And on behalf of Western Australia, we are engaging those wholesalers and making sure they have some great content to offer under the Western Australia branding. In the U.S. market, we are going to be participating in the Avec Eric cooking channel series featuring 3-star Michelin chef Eric Ripert. And essentially, we're doing this in partnership with Tourism Australia and 6 other states. So what will happen is Eric Ripert will visit the 6 states, and each state will get their own episode. So there will be an episode specifically including Perth and the southwest of Western Australia, and it will go out to 90 countries around the world. This is quite an exciting time and for us to be involved in something like this. Restaurant Australia will also have an event happening in Tasmania. This will happen in November. It's the Invite the World to Dinner. And Tourism Australia is behind this, and they've invited over 90 different influencers and chefs to come to Tasmania, enjoy this amazing food and wine experience, and then travel throughout Australia. On the back end to that, there will be an event happening in New York City, hosted by Avec Eric, and Western Australia will definitely get some focus in that in January. Okay. As far as campaigns for tourism Western Australia, we've got a great CMA with Qantas happening in October. We will be targeting, household income of $100,000 per year, long-haul traveler. You can see to the right some of the imagery that will be happening on this site. It will be a digital campaign targeting passion points of luxury, outback adventure, nature and wildlife. And as you can see, we'll be working with some of the other states on that as well. We have a wonderful Facebook promotion that we work together with Virgin Australia and Down Under Answers. Basically, what we do is present a bucket list of Western Australia on Facebook, and it's a great way to educate the marketplace about all the wonderful things we have on offer in Western Australia. Primarily what happens is the consumer selects an item off the list. Last year we had 12 items on the list. It is a major touch point, like for example, Bungle Bungles might be the touch point, but there is a full itinerary behind that. So they simply select what they'd like to win and invite a Facebook friend to join them on that trip. So this way we grab two groups of friends in one activity. We do work together with Down Under Answers, who will put the 12 itineraries on a landing page. So if anyone wants to purchase those specific trips, they can do that as well. We do a 5-month on-sale before and after the promotion, and that really works great for us because we start capturing the attention of the marketplace. From here, we have a few other campaigns coming forward. The Stella Travel campaign with Qantas Vacations will happen this year. We're also in talks with About Australia and Go Away Travel to do a self-drive caravan and camping campaign. Go Away did it with us last year. You can see some of the artwork there on some of the activity that we did with them, and this year we'll take on About Australia. We are looking to work with Indigenous champions to do a promotion as well. We have some great consortia partnerships. The great thing about consortia in the U.S. is we don't have to knock on the doors on every mom and pop travel agency. We can work with these amazing partners. Signature Travel Network, this will be the 3rd time we're in campaign with Signature. We work together with Tourism Australia and a couple of the states. They've got 5.5 billion annual sales, 6,000 travel agents, and they've got a really fantastic network, and we do all kinds of prints and digital marketing with them. What it does give us access to is they have about 12 preferred wholesalers that they work with, and that's great for us because if there are wholesalers that we are not currently working with, they're part of the Signature network, and it's a way to get WA in. Also, this year we have a little more funding, yay, and we're going to take on another consortia. Travel Leaders is probably the largest consortia in America. They've got $20 billion in annual sales with 40,000 travel agents. So similar principle to Signature, where they have preferred wholesalers, and they also have great access to some of the big cruise ships. So we look forward to working with them this year. Speaking of cruise, great segue, we have some great activity. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Tourism Australia has a new division that happened about a year ago, 2 years ago, whereby we are now targeting cruise in some of our markets, and U.S. is one of them. Americans are big cruisers. We attended the Seatrade Miami Cruise event that happens in Florida. We'll do that again this year. That will happen in April. Along with the visit to do that particular show, there will be a cruise road show featuring all the states of Australia, and we'll go around to the various big ship cruise companies, do some trade education, and talk about some pre- and post touring options. Cruise 360 targets travel agents, and it is a great show, so looking forward to doing that again this year. We have engaged the Cruise Industry News to do a 7-page article on Western Australia in October, so that's going to be fantastic. We had some great interviews, and I think we'll be pleased with the end product there. We are involved, of course, in cruise partner training, engagement, pre- and post-auctions. That really is the goal of the conversation, is to make them aware that Western Australia has 10 fabulous ports for cruising to visit, and we're doing some great work with that. We've done some webinar training to talk about not only cruising, but the destination of Western Australia combined. We've included newsletter engagement. We will be doing a mailing to make sure that our cruise partners have whatever they need to facilitate attention to Western Australia. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we'll leverage some of our other partners to cover the base of cruise. For opportunities, we've got a list here going, but one of the couple of things I will definitely highlight is the coastnorthamerica.com website. This is a fantastic place for you to be if you are a WA product. What we've done here is we've created a master database for you of all of the wholesale companies that are working both in the U.S. and Canada, selling currently Australia. You know, we know them, we work with them, we make sure that you have the decision makers' contacts there. There are bios on each of the company. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me to let me know, to ask any questions. Probably one of the biggest activities we do is the Australian Marketplace and New Product Workshop that will take place this year, March 18 through 21. The registrations will probably open in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned. We'll make sure to circulate the necessary information. What we do when we have operators come up to the marketplace, and we absolutely would love you to come and engage this market with us, we do some additional outside appointments. We host a webinar to reach those that won't be able to come to the show, and we put on a fantastic media event. And as I say, the company I work for, which is Wagstaff Worldwide, has great relationships with media. To follow up with that, there will be a Best of Australia Roadshow, and this will target the travel agencies in Chicago, New York, Texas, and sorry about that. Yeah, so those would be the primary, and Toronto. We put out a quarterly newsletter. We did a webinar series this last year. We will continue to do it again, which was fantastic, a great way to train agents. We also enlist the agents to become WA specialists. Just a point here about ATE, just make sure if you are attending ATE that you invite buyers to attend and meet with you and engage them. Luxperience is a new luxury event that's been happening the last couple of years, held in Sydney from August 31st. Stella Symposium with Stella, which is Travel to and Qantas Vacations. You actually have to be a preferred partner, and in March they will give access to some of the training. G'day USA, we're the only destination in the world that gets to go on stage in America and in about 12 different cities around the U.S. It's all about Australia. And of course, I've mentioned some of the cruise activities. Swain Awards. Swain is a long-term tour wholesaler out of Philadelphia. They're a fantastic partner. Every year they do an engagement where they have the staff come into a part of the U.S. and they invite product to come and train them, and they also reward the team for the year. Reach out to our campaign partners. I'm happy to work with you to decide who those partners may be. I've mentioned many of them today. We have Famils coming up for trade in November and in May, June, heading towards the Kimberley, and we certainly have Media Famils. And this is just to remind you about the Aussie Specialist Program that Tourism Australia put on. They have a lot of great opportunities for product to include video content. Travel Club offer discounts to travel agents. They do brochure mailings. There's many different ways that you can get your voice out there in the U.S. marketplace, and they certainly have a great platform. Some of the media trips coming up, we've got Voyage Fixins. These are fantastic ladies, Lainey and Lindsay, and they're going to be the ambassadors to support our bucket list. So when we do the Extraordinary Bucket List with Down Under Answers, we usually have some sort of media travel either before, during, or after the promotion. And what they do is they take on what they say is their bucket list off of our list, and really engage the social media community on what they're doing. So it really gives lift to our promotion. Some of the other trips that we're going to be doing this year, we're working together with Danny Seo. Danny Seo is quite well known in the U.S. market. He's just started his own magazine now, Environmental Lifestyle. So we're looking forward to have him come and visit the region. The Washington Post, we've got a freelance writer, Ray Lane, and he really likes to do one-of-a-kind experiences in his stories. So we're going to bring him down and look at visiting the Golden Outback. Margaret River Gourmet Escape out of Margaret River. We will definitely have a couple of media down there to attend. And these are just an example of some of the other media that we're looking to work with this year. Of course, the Boston Globe on the East Coast, Nat Geo Traveler, New York Times again. We've done some great work with them this year. We want to keep up that momentum. Condé Nast Traveler, and then, of course, the Los Angeles Times. Okay, that's it for me. These are my contact details. Again, I'm Sandy Nerlich with Tourism Western Australia. You can contact me at any time at sandy.nerlich@westernaustralia.com. And I'm quickly going to go ahead and look and see if we have any questions, and I'll try to get to those as much as I can. Okay. Someone was asking a question on Australian Marketplace, what the cost would be for that. It would be inclusive of accommodation and also meals, and cost about $2,700 US. And that's, of course, without airfares. Great. Let me see if we have any other questions here. Okay. I have one more coming here. Just have a look real quick here. Okay. Someone said, can we get a copy of the PowerPoint? I just want to let you know that we have recorded this presentation, and we will be making those available on the corporate website and also in the Talking Tourism newsletter. You'll be able to download the presentation. How real is the potential of the Middle East Airlines exit USA into Perth and WA? We are talking to those particular partners. I just recently had a wholesaler from Texas in, and one of the first comments to her was that she sees using a Middle East carrier to have her clients travel from Texas to have access into Perth. So it is a new concept for Australia. In the U.S., a lot of people don't equate it with Australia. They think more Qantas and Virgin, as you might imagine. But we are in talks with some of the other carriers like Etihad and Emirates about working with us. So, and we do have some support of Tourism Australia with that as well. So stay tuned. We'll let you know. And okay, great. Great, not too many questions. That's good. That means we've answered everything we need. Actually, one more question, which I do have time for one more. Question about the Wheatbelt region. Is there a market for prospecting experiences, wildflowers, Australian farming? Absolutely, 100% yes. And in fact, we get a lot of attention for the wildflowers. I've been fortunate to visit your region. Yes, the mining gets great attention. Ghost towns, fantastic. Gold mining region. North Americans love all of that, and also including the Indian Pacific Train as part of the experience is definitely a winning situation. And some of the caravan and camping that we're going to be doing is going to be coming out to some of those regions, so that'll be fantastic. And I'm certainly open to you contacting me with any suggestions of some great possibilities as well, so please definitely contact me. Do you have any plans to promote the Coral Coast? We are doing extremely well with Coral Coast. As you know, we've got a few issues with some of the flights flying into Monkey Maya, and also with the one-way hires up and down the coast. That some of that has come up, but I can tell you we have some great products in that region. Our market loves it. On the bucket list that we did The Coral Coast experience came in number 3 as the highest interest. So we definitely have people that are very keen on Ningaloo, which, of course, as many of you may already know, is a fantastic destination and gets a lot of attention in our market. And definitely great for the caravan and camping activity we're about to do. Some of the properties that get a lot of attention in the Coral Coast, of course, is the Novotel in Exmouth and South Dallas. So our market seems to be leaning in that direction. Well, okay. Well, thank you all for joining us today. And if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them offline. I'm going to go ahead and hand over the presentation to New Zealand, which is starting now, which is 9:30. And just bear with us just one moment. Okay. I'd like to go ahead and introduce Lisa D'Souza.
Thanks, Sandy. Hi, everybody. If you haven't met me before, my name's Lisa D'Souza. I am actually a New Zealander living here in Perth and have been here for 6 years now. I'll just move on to the next slide. Our team is made up of myself here in Perth and Louise Friend, who most of you have probably spoken to or met or communicated to over the phone or email. Louise is based in New Zealand. She's very, very familiar with WA. She did live in Broome herself for around 7 years, and she's travelled over to Western Australia several times over the last 5 years since she's been in her role of marketing manager. And of course, our head office support person is Steffi Stoffels here in Perth as well. Okay, I'm just going to run through some of the background and trends for the New Zealand market. The consumer confidence has returned back in Christchurch, which is evident through the strong aviation growth, with the direct flights now to Perth from Christchurch with Air New Zealand. They are seasonal, but they're very successful, hence the reason this is their 2nd year now with that service, and they run between December and April. On the back of that, Qantas have seen the opportunity as well to introduce direct services out of Auckland, and they also have entered the market 2nd year in a row now, extending their season out to April. So they're alongside the Air New Zealand direct out of Christchurch. So it's great for us. It's competitive pricing, and it's keeping the consumers travelling over to WA. Visitor numbers are sitting at about 75,700 as of June 2014. It's making the New Zealand market the 2nd most visited market, with an average stay of around 3 weeks. We actually do have quite a high dispersal rate with the New Zealand market, with probably the strongest growth sitting there with the Northwest region. The consumer trends indicate that New Zealanders are wanting elements of world-class beauty, food and wine, spectacular coastal scenery, as well as a safe and secure location to holiday. We do still compete for market share in New Zealand against the likes of Tourism Queensland, and we do face some strong competition with the Eastern State campaign, mainly because of their high budgets and, of course, the low-cost aviation into the Eastern States. New Zealanders do have a high awareness of Perth, though, so that does help us in our competitive environment. 66% of New Zealanders do book their holidays online with the airlines, so that is a very strong figure, hence the reason you'll see through our marketing activity coming up in the next few slides. The key passion segments for New Zealanders include nature activities. They love the outdoors. Self-driving is a strong segment for us. And, of course, natural wonders such as the wildflowers, cycling, walking activities. Just a little bit about our visitation history here. We did have a really good year in 2013 with a strong visitation, but unfortunately just due to the business travel dropping off slightly, our visitation year to date has dropped there due to that FIFO and business travel decline. Purpose of visits. We do have a high VFR market visiting WA. there is around 65,000 New Zealanders living here in Perth. So you can see that's evident in our visitation. Our focus is still very much on the holiday and leisure segment, but the visiting friends and family market is much of a focus for the aviation campaigns at the moment. Our target audience is the same as experience seekers, which are aged between 40 and 64 years of age. We do target these travellers in the Auckland Central and Greater Auckland regions, along with the rural areas of the Waikato and Bay of Plenty, Hawke's Bay, and of course the South Island region, Christchurch and the Canterbury area. And of course the second primary target audience is the VFR market. Just some of our activity that we've been, this is just taking place actually just last month, was an Air New Zealand Dreamliner tactical campaign. This is promoting the delivery of the new Dreamliner aircraft on the Auckland to Perth route. We're very, very fortunate to have it on our route. It's the first aircraft of that type in their fleet. And there has been a strong response to the 7-day tactical campaign that we ran with Air New Zealand, with over 2,500 bookings in just 7 days. So we were really impressed with those results. It was a heavy digital campaign, but retailers did incorporate a lot of the activity in their below-the-line activity. Also, just earlier this month, we did a campaign with Qantas, and that was as part of our MOU partnership. Again, promoting the direct services out of Auckland to Perth for December to April travel. We went out a bit earlier this year with Qantas in comparison to last year, and we did see some great results. It did pay to go out there earlier, and obviously they were well aware of Air New Zealand coming out quite early as well. You can see some of the creative there, but it was a mixture of print, outdoor and digital marketing, and of course a lot of social media and e-coms. I'll just run through another promotion we did to promote the Margaret River Gourmet Escape and Margaret River in the southwest region. We had an opportunity to work with Mondo Travel, who are a boutique retail agency and are very, very focused on higher demographic profile. They work very closely with Moet Hennessy's database and Denizen magazine. Excuse me, I'll just get to this. And they invited Matt Stone over to Auckland for an evening with 35 media and 75 consumers by invitation only to attend a pop-up restaurant on Auckland's waterfront. The response was fantastic. Everybody responded within 48 hours, and Matt Stone cooked up a storm and interacted with all the guests, discussing all the food and wine culture of the southwest region, and in particular the Margaret River Gourmet Escape event. We had a videographer there for the night, and we produced a vignette which has been sent out to 100,000 people on the Food and Living Channels EDM database. Now that database is also a result of some TBC advertising that we had on the Food and Living channel through the month of July. We had a great support from locals, and thanks to Australia Southwest, AMRTA, Margaret's Beach Resort, Air New Zealand, Brand Events, and some of the wineries and local produce companies. They produced a fantastic evening for all, and we're really excited to see the results still coming in and the bookings coming in from Mondo Travel. Just a little bit about what's coming up with Tourism Australia. There is a Savouring Australia campaign. This is the first phase of 3 with Tourism Australia that we're working closely with. It's an integrated content campaign focusing on the consumer passion of food and wine. We've got an incredible woman named Sarah Tuck. She's a great and well-known food blogger from New Zealand who's worked with the likes of Annabelle Langvine, and she's an incredible food photographer as well. She will be experiencing 80 courses over 6 states, and Western Australia was the first cab off the rank for this campaign. Sarah spent 8 days in WA, which is a long time for a journalist, particularly with 6 states and all to go. So the average stay in every other state is going to be 3 to 4 days. So we really got to have Sarah well to ourselves. And she's produced already a phenomenal amount of copy and editorial and some incredible images, which I've signed off just yesterday. And that will be now published through yahoo.co.nz from the 1st of September. The campaign will run for 12 weeks. And all of the product that was included in Sarah's itinerary will have a chance of being featured and mentioned in online content through this campaign. Air New Zealand are the official sponsor, and they'll bring out tactical airfares around each destination. We will get 2 weeks of promotion for Western Australia out of the 12, and House of Travel have partnered, and they have been working really closely with us to package up Broome, Perth and Margaret River products and packages. So we're really excited about this campaign coming up on the 1st of September. Some of the other activities planned include, and happening this week actually, is an RTO roadshow. We've got all 5 RTOs in market this week, and they will be visiting Christchurch, Nelson and 2 Auckland locations. Very strong response considering we were only in market with the RTOs last October. Air New Zealand and Christchurch International Airport are our major sponsors for the roadshow. We're also working again very closely with Brits around the caravan and camping sector. Drive for Your Senses was a microsite we set up with Brits last year on the back of a domestic campaign, and it was really successful. So we're just going to stay on with our Drive for Your Senses theme, but we are going to just ramp up the marketing around timings. We're not going to identify specific themes this time around. Last year we went along the likes of an outback campaign, a coastal campaign and a wildflower campaign. This time around we're just going to stick with particular regions, and they're all identified there in 3 separate campaigns. So the Australia Southwest and Australia's Golden Outback will be a 4 to 10 day package, and that will run September and October. And then we've also got Australia's Northwest promoting some itineraries and packages. And then we're followed by the last campaign with Coral Coast and Golden Outback again. So there is an opportunity there to work with us if you've got some products that we can work along and incorporate into these itineraries. Certainly feel free to contact us, and we'd love to hear from you. Some of the other opportunities here, activities that we have in planning include the Air New Zealand Christchurch to Perth direct campaign. Now this is actually rolling out in September, again really early in September, alongside the Savouring Australia campaign with Sarah Tuck. So we're absolutely adamant that's going to have exceptional results, as it always does. We've got a journalist arriving next week from the Otago Daily Times. Pam Jones will visit Perth, but predominantly focused on the Golden Outback region, Wheatbelt, Kalgoorlie. Actually, she's heading out over the Perth Hills and into York as well. So very focused and very targeted audience from the Otago Daily Times. Really heavy rural readership there. So they've got plenty of money and plenty of time to spend in WA. The Margaret River Gourmet Escape will send over 2 journalists from New Zealand this year, so that's exciting. We've got plans to bring over Judy Bailey, our long-reigning anchor woman on television, who has probably the biggest audience following in television over in New Zealand. Judy is very interested in coming over to cover off the Perth International Arts Festival, and also head down to Albany and cover some of the Anzac itinerary that will be April 2015 focus. So she will do some pre-media meetings and talk with some about the local dignitaries down there. And we've got RV Magazine heading over here again, another great publication for the experienced seekers and the grey nomads, those that are looking at venturing out and spending a lot of time over here in WA and dispersing. So that'll be happening in October and November. Trade training. We have over 250 qualified travel agents that Louise is in touch with on a regular basis, and they are also in touch with her on a regular basis. We nurture these specialists. We take care of them. We offer them plenty of opportunities to meet with Louise. We have several of them that invite Louise into their offices and do trade trainings around the country. And of course, we focus on them only for our familials, and we'll be bringing around 10 of them over to the Golden Outback for a familial planned in November. As we mentioned earlier, there's been a lot of campaign activity around the Dreamliner, servicing the Auckland direct to Perth route, and Air New Zealand are inviting, alongside of ourselves, up to 20 VIP decision makers in the industry over for this very special familial to Perth and the Margaret River region. We are limited for time. We only have 4 days, but we will get them down south. We were only going to focus on Perth, but we've decided we need to include a little bit of, just incorporate another region where we can. So we are in the planning stages of that at the moment. So we will certainly be in touch with any of you that we feel that are a great fit for the itinerary, but if you feel that you would like to be a part of it, please don't hesitate to contact us there. Bearing in mind there's key decision makers coming over from the retail and wholesale groups, and also trade media. We're very lucky as well to have First Travel approach us. This travel company are very big achievers in the industry. Your agencies here are producing $5 to $10 million worth of business per travel agent in the agencies. You know, they've got the likes of the Wrightson Groups, Shell service stations. So they take away their top offices each year, and they've travelled to the likes of the Maldives and Mauritius. This year, they're travelling to Perth and Margaret River. So we're really excited to be a part of this incentive group, and Tourism WA will be sponsoring a day with them down the Margaret River region with some fantastic excursions and operators. So again, we're just in the final stages of winding this itinerary up, but for those that we have contacted, thank you, and we look forward to them going back and raving about WA to their other industry colleagues. So I'll just run through some of the opportunities here for you all in case you want to contact us and jump on board. We attend the Flight Centre Expos in Wellington, Auckland and Christchurch each year. These are very, very popular, particularly the Auckland Consumer Show, which happens over 2 days. Around 60,000 consumers come through the doors, and it is an opportunity if you are working with Flight Centre and you have got product contracted with them to showcase an offer exclusive for the show. We do always really encourage you to get in touch with us first so we can ensure that Flight Centre have that well and truly early and in time to produce a flyer. The other opportunity is if you do wish to come and market around that time, get in touch with us. It's a great way to get your product directly in front of the consumer as well, but bear in mind that the more people that are interested, the more booths that we have to purchase, and then that cost does have to be spread out amongst us all. It is a very difficult time as well to get in front of retailers and wholesalers outside of the shows, because there's a lot of product from other states and territories over and market at that time. So it's a great exercise if you're wanting to come on and market for a few days with us. Otherwise, it's not really a good opportunity to get in front of the trade. It's too busy. Field days is another opportunity that we always encourage product with a focus on nature and outdoors. This particular show is very, very agricultural and rural focused, so your audience is a lot of farmers, people that have a lot of disposable income, and they're big spenders. They'll come in and they'll buy tractors. They'll buy, they'll buy tanks, they'll buy a holiday, they'll just spend up during the 4 days of the show. We absolutely encourage you, if you've got product to fit that market, to get in touch with us, again, to showcase it at the show. We can produce a flyer, or if you've got a flyer produced. But again, if you want to come over and market and stand for 4 days in the middle of the country with your designer gumboots, feel free to come over and join us. We'd love to have you there. And again, there's an opportunity, if you've got the time, to spend with us prior to the show or after the show. We can certainly set up some meetings and some trade training and some in-market appointments. That's no problem at all. WA Holiday Specialist trade training via webinar. That's something Louise does on a regular basis, so do get in touch with her if you want to join her on a webinar training. An opportunity here for monthly deals. We have around 15,000 consumers on our database. Each month we do tap on a deal at the end of the newsletter. We're always looking for product or offers, whether you want to run that deal through a retailer or a wholesaler, if you've got a relationship with a preferred retailer or a wholesaler there. Please send your offer to us direct, and then we can discuss with you the best way to promote that, whether we hook you up with a retailer to promote it or whether we just put a direct deal in place. We've had some great products included over the last 6 months, so we're always looking at diarising that well ahead in advance. So let's just run through some of the campaign opportunities. In New Zealand are looking at doing something with us to promote the Winter Sun campaign in early 2015. So we'll be sitting down very soon together, Louise and myself, to work out what our objective will be and what our focus and region focus will be, and messaging will be around that. So there is an opportunity to be involved there if you, again, would like to be. Qantas is looking at running another campaign around early December, just before their direct start, targeting holiday and leisure. Now, this will most likely be a radio and digital campaign, most likely an interactive social media campaign as well. So we will be in touch again through Talking Tourism close to the time about opportunities there. As I mentioned earlier, caravan and camping with Brits. If you've got product in the regions that we identified earlier, please get in touch with us so we can ensure that you're included in some of the itineraries and packages. Expedia is something new for us. We trialled it this last May 2014, this year, and we were really impressed with this online travel agency trial. It showed us positive results, therefore we are planning on doing another campaign with them in May. Can we please encourage you, when they come out with an expression of interest, to jump on board this campaign? We had around 200 accommodation properties jump on board this year. It would be great to see a little bit more in the wider regions, not so much Perth focus, but more regional focus. That would be great. Thank you. Tourism Australia, as I mentioned, are running their first phase with Savouring Australia as of the 1st of September, but they will be running another Passions campaign in in the third quarter, actually, around March of 2015. And this will again be food and wine focused. We're still to find out a little bit more information about this campaign, so we will be in touch with you via Talking Tourism about this. And again, there's opportunities to support for meals that are coming up. As I mentioned earlier, their VIP Dreamliner trade for meal. Unfortunately, sorry, their first travel for meal is included there, but it's basically just being closed off as of this week. There is still opportunities to be involved in the Golden Outback for meal with our trade in November. We're still in the planning process there, so please do get in touch with us if you wanted to be involved in that. And just with Margaret River Gourmet Escape, we've got 2 wonderful media coming in market for that. So again, we'll be looking at what we can include, particularly around the radio host, Mel Homer, and who she can meet while in market. Now that concludes my presentation. We've just got a few minutes for some questions. So if you wanted to throw some questions through, please do so now. I'll just give you a couple of minutes to do that. Actually, in the meantime, there is one question here I'll just run through. They're coming up quick. The question is how do we get our product in front of the trade if we're not active in the market? And that's a really good question, and we get that emailed through to us quite a bit. It is very easy. All you need to do is send Louise Friend or myself a bit of detail on your product. Send us a paragraph or a press release. We need some images, we need some logos, and some contact details. We do need you to be international ready as well and prepared to pay commission to the retail industry. And with that, we can take that to the trade press, and we can get you some great coverage in the likes of the Travel Memo, Travel Inc magazine, and Travel Daily. I'll just check if there's any other questions. Okay, a very popular question here, which is asked several times, and thank you. Do we intend to have a roadshow that includes product other than RTOs? This has actually just been discussed again as early as this week at a meeting. Thank you. It's been something that we've been working really hard to try and incorporate in our roadshows. Look, with New Zealand being such a familiar market and such a close market to a lot of product, and there is already product and accommodation that are quite active in the market with the likes of retailers and wholesalers, we don't see it as a priority to take product with us with RTOs at this stage. We do, however, encourage you to travel and market when you can and if you like with other products. And when you do choose to visit the market, we will absolutely, myself and Louise, support you in every way we can with setting up meetings, put you in touch with the right people, certainly put you in touch with our WA holiday specialists. And we find that that might be the better way to go. Otherwise, sometimes what happens is that the journey will travel over, the roadshow will travel in over 2 weeks, and it is a little bit too long for people to be in market, and it does cost a lot. Famil support for Coral Coast. Absolutely. Let's think about this. We've got some Famil, probably not in the next 6 months, but we do intend on running another Famil towards the end of this financial, so probably more like May, June next year. But if there is an opportunity, it will be with the WA holiday specialists, and we will certainly be getting in touch with David O'Malley regarding that as well. Is there any interest in cruise ships? Yes, there is. We are actually just this month working very closely with Mondo Travel and United Travel. We've approached them about being involved with their cruise programs. They both have industry cruise programs that we need to pay to be a part of, and we're just looking at some extra funding for that. We've applied for it, and if we get that, then we will be in touch with operators, and we'll be in touch with Talking Tourism about opportunities to be included in marketing campaigns and programs with United Travel and Mondo Travel. So we've got one more question I'm just trying to read. Okay, no, that was a question that I've already covered. I think that's it. Thank you very much. That's it from New Zealand. And of course, if you have got any questions that you can't think about right now, you can certainly email myself or Louise direct, and our details are on the screen, and of course Sandy as well. Thank you very good. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Thank you all for joining us today. We again remind you to join some of our other webinars that we talked about earlier on the presentation. I'll just see if I can put those on the screen for you. And again, if for any reason you did not receive an invitation to attend one of these fabulous webinars, please contact lisa.rodriguez@westernaustralia.com. And we'd like to thank you very much for your time today and hope that we were able to provide some great insights on two of the fantastic markets of US and New Zealand. Thank you all, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.